What's going on, YouTube fam? It's your boy ChurchTakes. We back at y'all with another one. Basically, we're gonna go over a few of the Patreon, comments. We're not gonna do all of them. There's over 2,300 comments, so ain't nobody gonna sit here and go through all of the comments, but we're gonna go over some of the comments that were said in the Patreon, and we're just gonna talk about a few of these topics. Now, I'm gonna just read the first one. A, does Melissa have her green card? Baby gotta chill. She's going too hard for the Democrats. Um, she definitely has her green card. She definitely is a full citizen, if I'm not mistaken. I said something similar in my recap. Basically, for a Canadian, she knows how to get in her politics bag. I wasn't trying to throw any shade. I was just saying she knows how to get in her politics bag. Um, that was pretty funny to me because for somebody to be from Canada, she's extremely versed in her American politics. But that's neither here or there. Now, we got a good one. Mark Lamont Hill was a guest on the pod today. So we got another one here, and it's asking: is Lamont and Mel having relations? Because that kiss and calling her love and him having a wife is crazy. Mel has no respect for married men or their wives. Shaking my head. Um, and then same person goes on to say it's not all Mel either. He was doing too much for show for show. That's why I asked, were they having relations? Seemed a little familiar with each other. Now, that is hilarious. Again, this is the Patroni chat. Um, these are, we got some chatty patties in the Patroni chat. And a female named, no, I'm not going to say the name, but somebody asked, so a guy wrote this and then a female asked, why do you care? So, and then we don't get any response after that. So, um, yeah, some guys are pointing out to themselves that they're a little too friendly, and they want to kind of know what that is all about. Now, enough on Mel. Let's get off of Mel. Let's go ahead and go to another comment. Mark, this was a good bonus this episode. Heard a different perspective and wasn't led astray by Joe always moving the goalpost. Wasn't the usual 4 verse 1. Mel shines well with a mature, logical guy in the room. I thought Mark Lamont Hill on this episode was trash. Other than the bet that they made at the end of the episode. But then again, maybe that was the narrative that wanted to be portrayed, and maybe that's just my style of the show. Maybe I don't like the person that's being so contrary to the show. So, I mean, as fans, we are all entitled to opinions. As I'm doing this, I'm learning that there is a style that each individual likes. There's also um, a watch cadence that each individual likes. And I just give credit to the podfather, Joe Budden, because he's able to kind of, in a broad scheme, he's able to navigate all different types of systems, the systems that people have within themselves as to what makes them gravitate towards your product as a creator and as an artist. So, shout out to the Podfather, um, and shout out to this particular Petroni who had a different perspective that I had on Mark. And listen, she could absolutely be right. I mean, she could absolutely be right and say, this was a good. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. That's my point. Let's move on. Let's go on to the next one. Um, so y'all gonna act like Danny ain't name his first pod show Improper Improv. No way Flip ain't heated and he got Shammy as his co-host. Maybe y'all go in on Patreon. Um, okay. It's a nice perspective. Danny naming his first pod Improper Improv. Um, is Flip heated? I think Flip decided to stop working with Shammy as his co-host, so I don't think Flip is in any way heated. Um, he started he started a show on Kick talking about the narcissist show, and I know a few people over in the Danny the Stops crew. I know they have a narcissist show, so maybe Danny doing that was a play on Flip trying to do the narcissist thing. But yeah, no, I don't think Flip is upset at all. Yeah, it's too many things to be going on, so that's that. Moving forward, this is pretty funny. Mark Lamont Hill killed the show. Educate these dudes. It got to be fun and cool again to educate. So we have another Mark Lamont Hill fan. He was basically saying, you did a good job. It got to be cool and fun to educate again. Again, my pod style, I didn't like him on the pod. I thought he was 0-3. Go check out my recap on the episode today. But go check out my recap and shout out to everyone who has a different opinion than mine's. Um, all that being said, let's go on. Let's move on. I don't necessarily want to go into too many. I don't want to go into too many Mel's. I don't want to go into too many flips. I don't want to go into too many particulars on the actual show. I mean, I will go into Mark Lamont Hill because he's a guest on the show, and you got to give credit when credit is due. So, I mean, we can go into him more often, but yeah, I don't necessarily want to read too many people on I don't want to go in on Mel so often, but there's a lot of comments for Mel. And this is what I'm saying, y'all. These are narratives. They are pushing narratives, and the narratives are working. The fact that there's so many comments about Mel, fam, you don't think she knows how to turn up? You don't think she knows how to get down? I mean, you guys got to remember the first episode when she was like kind of interviewing for the pod. She was loosey goosey. Listen, Merlot Melly is a person. You know what I'm saying? And also, Narrative Melly is also a person. You guys got to read between the lines. You guys got to understand when there's something there, and then when there's a narrative that's just being portrayed. You got to understand, Joe is one of the best producers of a podcast on the planet. He knows how to keep people entertained. He knows how to run a show, and he knows how to keep narratives going. With that being said, shout out to the Podfather, and the best pod on the planet. You guys can call me a Joe Stan. You guys can say I'm this, that, and the third. But at the end of the day, I'm not any of that. I'm not a Joe Stan or at all. I'm just a guy who watches all of the different pods, and I give my opinion and my take on um, what I see. And right now, Joe got it. It is what it is. Be mad at me. I don't care. Um, Not Yah gave advice to the killers and good advice at that. I'm gonna leave that alone. Not too sure why I read that one, but I mean that dude himself sounds like a killer. But whatever. Joe be so wrong on Ish. And I'm not talking about the cast member. I'm talking about the sugar honey iced tea. Joe be so wrong on stuff. Jonathan Majors wasn't just texting a girl. He was texting a girl, and her message to him said, "I had a great time last night," or something to that effect, and other things that indicate she wasn't just a friend. I'm on Jonathan Major's side and don't think he was guilty of anything, but Joe was just wrong about that point. He be trying so hard to go against an idea or statement just for the sake of going against an idea or statement. Now, this person, I'm not going to read the comment, but in my opinion, this person couldn't be so wrong. This person is an entertainer. We're talking about Joe. He knows that if he says something like this, it's going to get somebody like you to write a whole paragraph about what he just stated, which keeps someone like you and somebody like me engaged. Joe is an entertainer, fans, and fellow pod watchers. Please get that through your thick skull. None of these narratives are, well, I'm not going to say none of them, but you guys got to be able to read between the line. I mean, listen, there's a tag in the front. I skip it damn near every single time. I open up the pod because I don't necessarily like it. But there's a tag in the front that people can refer to if you feel that deeply about whatever it is that you feel. I mean, it's kind of crazy. Anyway, uh, I'm so sick of Mel's goofy A tone of voice. She sounds so dorky, it's getting annoying AF. Um, yeah, the fans are definitely getting tired of Mel. It is what it is. I'm not gonna. I just read it. I didn't read it. It didn't come from me. It's just something that I read on one of the Patreon exclusives. Um, where are we at with this one now? Why exactly? That snake ish is exactly what Joe did with that Patreon job. Ice don't realize, or he would never have said that. Listen, in my opinion, Joe's been getting people on Patreon for the longest, ever since Patreon has been out there. Shout out to Patreon and shout out to all the content creators. Now listen, I pay for my Patreon, right? If I'm paying my money for my Patreon, can't nobody tell me what I can or what I can't do with what I seen or what I heard with something that I spent money on. So for example, I spend money on a Patreon exclusive product, right? If he puts out the Patreon and nobody else gets the Patreon, I'm paying for that exclusive feature. If I'm paying for that exclusive feature, I can then do my thing and put out content on that particular um, entertainment. I'm not as big as Joe. Nobody, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to be somebody that stops people from going to go watch the JBP. I'm not going to be somebody that's going to stop people from signing up to the Patreon. But on the but what I will say is, listen, if I am paying for something and I'm receiving a product, can't nobody tell me what to do or what to say with that product that I am paying for. I don't care who has a problem with it. And I try not to use any of the information that they use, or I try not to do any copyright laws or anything like that. But these people are these people are crazy. People are upset at me because I'm doing reviews, and people are upset at me because I'm giving my recaps on certain Patreon episodes. And it's like, yo, fam, I pay for it. You can't tell me what to do with what I hear and what I see, especially if I'm paying for it. That's like telling me I can't cook the food that I go to the supermarket. That I can't cook the food that I pay for at the supermarket once I get home. I can't cook my food now. Are you crazy? Yo, fam, anybody that has a problem with me doing what I need to do as a paid customer, take it up with whoever you need to take it up with. Don't take it up with me. All right. That's that. I had to stand on my square for a quick second because, yeah, I couldn't believe people were getting upset with me. I got a comment saying like, "Yo, what are you doing? What are you doing?" And I'm like, what I'm doing? I'm talking about the product. The product is clearly paywalled. Okay, there's an opportunity there. The product is being paywalled from people that actually enjoy the show, but they don't pay for the entertainment. So why not me pay for it and bring them the information that they may be missing one way or another? That's going to actually help the business. That's going to get more people to sign up, and that's going to get more people to watch the show. Anyway, I'm going to move on. I digress. Let's get back to the show. Let's get back to the Patreon chat for the JBP. Trump cannot make those laws. I made a comment in one of my videos before this stating that, Trump can very well possibly, try to make himself a king. And yeah, that kind of came from Mark Lamont Hill and Melissa Ford. So shout out to the both of them for being so versed in their politics. But yeah, man, listen, I don't want to make this video too long. I kind of do want to get up out of here. If you guys do want another video of the Patreon Chatty Patties, just let me know and I will go ahead and do so. But you guys just let me know in the description. Let me know if you guys like the idea of this show, and then if you guys do, then I'll continue to keep on doing it. And then yeah, like I said, just keep me posted and let me know. This is the Podlitical cast. Jesus, Mary, and Joseph. Wow, that was pretty funny. So the fans don't necessarily like all of the politics. Some of them are saying stay away from the politics. If y'all don't understand, if y'all don't understand yet, we are not helping Ukraine fight Russia. We are fighting Russia, just using Ukraine to do it. Well, on that note, that is it. That is all for your boy ChurchTakes. We're gonna get on and get up out of here on that note. Before we do get up out of here, go ahead and visit manhattangray.com. It's basically you could get yourself a nice hair care kit. If you have dry hair, if you want to add shine or moisturization to your hair, go ahead and go to manhattangray.com. You can use the hydration oil or the moisture pomade. It's a black owned business, so it's a very inexpensive product, but it has 5-star quality. Your boy Cedric the Entertainer is one of the sponsor, or not sponsors, but he uses the product as well. Just go ahead, go click over to the website, manhattangray.com. I'm sure that you guys will be extremely impressed. And that is it. And that is all for right now. So basically, thank you guys again for watching. Thank you guys again for subscribing. Thank you guys for commenting in the description. And most importantly, uh, always remember who has the best takes. It's your boy Church. We out.